Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good.
Fuck, I hope my stuff can record this. Man, my things are lagging. Please let me do what I want. Where is Spark? If I were to go to Overwatch League here. Sorry, this is taking some time. I haven't even
Oh, you're
gotten
okay.
to the fucking shit.
Hey, I love you.
Wait, what is this? Oh, this is stage 2. Let's see. 1 to 3, 2 to 3, 3 to 1. Ah, so it's their third match. So this is actually quite a long game. Aha, here we are. Let's see if I can run this.
Go to school. I'm just playing Township.
Oh, how nice. I actually have that game and I play it sometimes. If I'm too bored. Ooh, who joined?
Hey.
Hey, Crab, finally.
Yay, it's
You're done with
Yeah.
you're done with your Apex game. So,
Yep.
today we will be going over the Houston Outlaws versus. Why isn't my match pausing? Oh my god, this thing is so fucking laggy. Is my computer like fucking weak or something? Holy shit. Okay. 500. Maybe if I quit Steam, that'll help. Okay, hopefully this kind of helps a little. Hey, look, it's a tiny bit more smoother. Okay, so can you guys see this well?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. So today we'll be so right now for our first match we will be reviewing Hangzhou versus Houston, because I heard there are some pretty good matches over here. So Hangzhou is going to be going for a dive Sombra composition, whereas Houston is going for a Hammond triple DPS with an Ana composition. So we'll be just looking at how these guys play each other. So first off, Hangzhou are just basically doing like a team rotation. They're right now just kind of sticking together, making sure they don't get flanked in any sort of way, because um, on this map specifically for Busan Sanctuary, most teams will actually run some sort of like Sombra composition, and so the reason why these guys are sticking together is in case Sombra hacks one of these people, that they can easily peel for each other until they know their composition once the seconds go down. So, so right now they're just kind of like waiting for the Houston Outlaws to do some sort of engagement, and yeah, like look at that, you can see Rhea already like trying to spam sight lines just to like make sure Sombra doesn't like easily sneak up on them. So Houston Outlaws basically have
Oh, we're on the head.
yep. Houston Outlaws have already one pick, and it looks like they're about to probably get another pick. So the way how
He's
Houston
called
Outlaws
Dinkster for a reason.
So the reason why, so pretty much the way how Houston Outlaws wanted to play this is that they just wanted to get, pretty much they just wanted their Hammond to kind of contest point and kind of like push up and create disruption along with Tracer and Sombra. And what happens is that Linkser the Widow would basically target anyone, or basically shoot anyone in the head if they walk into his line of sight. And then Rockus and Blink are just like default supporting. That's pretty much how they ended up winning this. Houston Outlaws like baited not necessarily baited, more like disrupted the Houston Outlaws into a position that the Houston Outlaws disrupted the Hangzhou Spark into a position they didn't feel good in, and the Hangzhou Spark were able to get a few Widow Dinks because of it. So therefore, Nosemight doesn't get headshotted. That's interesting. So yeah, they're just trying to make that space. It does work on getting IDK, however, and it works on kind of getting Godsby. However, it works for different reasons. Dante got Godsby because Dante's good, and then Bazzy got Jake because Jake is bad.
Jake is the Junkrat god, dude.
There's a reason why he's called Junkrat God and not a god.
Right.
Right, exactly.
So
But hey,
right
he's
now,
my hero.
Right now, pretty much Houston Outlaws is just trying to contest point. Right now, Hangzhou and Houston are in a posturing phase where they're just kind of where Hangzhou Spark is just waiting for their team to regroup so they can slowly develop their position and create a more equal or advantageous engagement. Whereas Houston Outlaws are right now just trying to collect information, and they're trying to collect information. They're trying to make sure they scout any sort of like flank or positional development from the Hangzhou Spark, and Jake is going to be looking for a hack too, probably an EMP at this point. So right now at this point, if I'm not mistaken, Houston Outlaws are starting to plan for possibly an EMP pile driver combo, because if they can get an EMP pile driver combo, everyone's hacked. Pile driver, everyone takes 100 HP, and Dante slash Linkser just easily follow up, and Boink could maybe even like throw in Boink in there for like some good measure, and you'll probably just kill everybody. Oh, but Godsby gets a hack onto Dante, and with an EMP for some ungodly reason, and Hangzhou just kill Dante like that, which is funny. Muma tries to get himself Muma tries to basically contest point by placing mines on point and getting us pile driver, which is good.
Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. Can you run it back like 5 seconds?
Yeah, sure. Let me just... I won't be able to do 5 seconds, but I'll be able to do like 10 seconds.
That's fine. That's fine. I think he gets Jake too. Hold on. So
No.
just okay.
Yeah, it was just
Keep going.
Yeah, so basically, I actually don't mind kind of the use from Hangzhou Sparks to use EMP just to take out a Tracer.
How did Jake die then?
Jake died. Oh, how did Jake die? He didn't die yet.
Just bang.
Jake didn't die
thought
yet.
I was...
No, Jake didn't die. Oh, now Jake died.
Yeah, he was bad.
Yeah, Jake is just bad. He probably got
What
caught
the
out.
fuck
He probably got
is-
caught up by Nosemite and the enemy team, and he was trying to EMP.
Okay. All right. Sorry. That's what I was trying to figure out because I did it. You just like it didn't show it on the screen, and I saw he died. So he just wasted EMP totally. Okay.
He didn't waste EMP. He ended up hacking a lot of people out of it. He just died, which kind of like wastes his follow up. Like he wasted his EMP in a way where he couldn't follow up for his EMP. You know.
How many people were EMP'd?
4 people. In fact, I think
okay.
5. 4 to 5.
Okay. I wasn't even looking at their team.
Pay attention to these health bars right over here. Cause
Yeah, I was looking like at Houston. That's why.
Right now, Muma is at this point where he's just trying to contest as much as he
Yeah.
could. Linkser gets a nice pick. So right now, Houston and Hangzhou are kind of still in the posturing phase where it's like both got equal picks, and right now they're just trying to like regroup, control, take space, and still trying to gain some sort of advantage. Right because Houston Outlaws is trying to make sure they don't like give Hangzhou Spark any sort of advantage, so they don't lose point. They're doing a good job at it. Jake is on fucking Brig because he's bad. And yeah, pretty much. And Dante's now on Diva, so pretty much so Houston Outlaws have now transitioned from a Sombra and Tracer triple DPS Hammond into a 2-2-2 actually. No, wait.
3,
3-2-1.
2-1.
It
looks like
3-2-1.
they're trying to switch into goats.
They're slowly,
Yeah.
So this is interesting actually right here. This is an interesting transition from Houston Outlaws because what teams would do is that whenever you make a team compositional like a compositional team switch, like you make a full-on composition switch, you completely reset your entire ultimate economy. So what Houston Outlaws try to do in this match is that they instead only switch a few characters and ones they have used ults for to basically now start picking characters that are in favor more of this composition at this
And it
moment.
makes sense because they're so high in the percent count
And they
where
also-
it's like
yeah.
they're starting to build goats and slowly trickling their other ults while contesting and trying to fucking crank out the 100 because it could happen.
Yep, exactly. And doing this allows Raucus and Linkser to still have their ultimates and Muma to come up on his ultimate again.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to fucking nano the Hammond right here.
I don't know if they might nano the Hammond, but they probably could because Pile Driver is just so good.
Right, yeah.
Linkser chokes a little bit. Dante just does.
Nah,
Dante's
they end up Dante.
Dante is a low-level diva player.
He was nanoed that entire time.
Raucus nanoed. Oh yeah, that's right. Raucus nanoed Dante.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Right now, pretty much, if we were to just keep watching this, what's going on over here is just basically a ton of brawls.
Yeah. But they got their Diva Bomb.
Yes. The difference between Hangzhou Spark and Houston Outlaws here is their target focus.
Yeah, they're much more gelled as a team. You can tell. That's definitely what it's coming down to.
Lamau more.
Yo, I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, so pretty much the difference between Hangzhou in the beginning and Houston Outlaws in the late is that Hangzhou may have gotten the pick onto Raucus because Raucus was getting so ulted. However, Houston Outlaws managed to group up just enough players to focus one target at a time, and then they just basically target called the people to death, and Houston Outlaws won this.
That's
So,
wild.
Kind of not to what I wanted to review. I wanted to review some Deathball, honestly. So
I mean, but that was definitely good. That was good. I think that was good.
I think that was
Good to
pretty
watch.
good. I don't think they're going to be running any sort of Deathball composition. Maybe on these ones they might run.
I definitely don't like when we have the hard reset ult economy. So, like, on a control map, if you have 5%, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's not even necessary that you even really need to hard reset. This is the reason why knowledge about compositions is important, because you want to know who synergizes who with who, so that way if you ever have to make a switch, you don't have to make an entire compositional switch. You could just make like one hero switch and still keep like 50% of your ultimates and still go in with your 50% of your ultimates. And that's really good right there. So over here, just see goats from those two sides. I don't give a shit about these guys' goats. Their goat sucks compared to Vancouver and Shock. I like Vancouver and Shock's goats much better. Maybe Soul too. Soul has actually some pretty good goats.
Yeah.
Do these guys not play some sort of deep deathball composition?
Are you talking about 3-3?
No, that's goats. I'm talking about 2-2 deathball. Because Newt told me that in the Hangzhou versus Houston match that they run 3-3. I mean, that they run deathball. I'm just like, oh, okay. Again, I don't see any sort of deathball, so we're just going to get off of here. So
Give me
pretty
a
much
sec.
my time has been wasted. Newt gave me a scuff VOD. I mean, at least we're able to like fucking analyze something. Now let's get to an actually good game. Let's see, which game should I review from San Francisco Shock versus Vancouver? Try to do a Vancouver game,
I
or should I
mean, you
do a
can do
San
it. You
Fran
can do
game?
it. Or a what?
Should I do a San Fran game or a Vancouver game? Keep in mind this is going to be from the Grand Finals.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can do any of them.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one shall be I picking for us?
They were all good fucking maps, honestly.
We'll just pick a random one. What do I got? Oh, Elios, the one that Vancouver Titans barely lost to. Okay, so pretty much today, so now our next VOD we will be reviewing for today will be San Fran versus Titans on the map Elios. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to prepare us this VOD. So immediately these two go out with GOATS compositions, and what we will be analyzing today is how each team will have won each fight. How Vancouver's playstyle will help win against Shock in some fights, and how San Fran's Shock's playstyle will win against Vancouver in other fights. So immediately these two teams are opening pretty much the Vancouver is opening with a default standard, whereas San Francisco Shock go for the high ground and try to not engage the enemy just yet. I'm guessing what Shock wants to do is that the Shock wants to play onto point, engage the enemy from point, or engage the enemy from high ground, or I see what they're doing here. They're basically creating a some sort of like space. The reason why this D.Va is splitting away from the Shock is because she's trying to start capturing attention from the Vancouver Titans to force the here. Let me get my pen for this. I completely forgot my pen. What is wrong with me?
How could you forget your pen?
Right. Here, just put this right over here. So pretty much what this D.Va wants to do is she wants to sit on she wants to sit on point here and then force these Vancouver Titans over here to go into the point. Vancouver don't
Why is
fall
that
for-
beneficial? I don't understand.
Pretty much it's beneficial because like basically what the Shock are essentially trying to create here is they're basically trying to create what the Shock is trying to do is they're trying to create a diversion of attention. So say for instance you have a 5-man squad right over here, and then you have a 6-man squad right over here. If this 6-man squad pays attention to this one person over here, then while this 6-man squad is paying attention to this one over here, that the 5-man squad will just focus anybody who's not focusing this 5-man squad. And so they'll try to chunk one person down and blindside them, or just like, they'll like try to maybe blindside, flank, or just like pincer them from an angle, and then they'll try to win that way. However, Vancouver are smart and formidable opponents.
That's a super risky. Yeah, that's super risky.
Yeah, but D.Va does have boosters and can get out, so she can easily retreat to her team if need be.
Well, I mean, I just feel like if you don't win that fight clean, like you're starting off really, really bad for this map because you've already given them
if you win,
3%.
The thing is, you're gonna lose or win either way. The same result is gonna still be the same for the Shock and the Vancouver Titans. If Vancouver Titans win this easily, then the match is winning for them. However, if Shock wins this easily, then it's gonna be beneficial for them. It doesn't matter what kind of opening or execution or idea you have in the beginning. It's whether or not if that idea works and you win that fight. That's what matters.
Okay.
Yes. So Moth gets a nice pick onto Twilight over here. So actually, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to show us a replay of what happened. Because what happened was that Moth actually I'll just try to draw it if I can. So Moth was actually kind of sliding on these walls over here, just like hopping up and shit. And then Twilight was kind of like positioned on the coast over there, and so Moth just booped him off. So nice small punish from Moth, really good. Whenever you're a Lucio player and you start seeing players play around coast, you usually want to capitalize on anybody who plays around coast for boop kills. And because of Moth getting this boop kill onto Twilight, this will snowball heavily, extremely in favor of San Francisco Shock.
Yep.
Despite Shock kind of being down a lot of health, Shock can easily restabilize and just kind of like keep their man advantage. So once Shock's abilities come right back up, then they can just basically focus down one person at a time and slowly put the fights into their favor already. And that's exactly what they do right here. They just try to, despite the amount of pressure that Vancouver tried to put out against the Shock didn't manage to fall from that play and lose people. They just managed to stabilize, restabilize, get their health up, and then go in with enough health.
I also feel like if Moth doesn't get that pick, they lose that fight. You see how by how much damage they took.
Yeah, if it was maybe different, yeah, then probably the Vancouver Titans would have won. But I don't think the Shock would have I don't think Shock would have let Vancouver Titans get that much damage onto them, because the Shock are a smart team, and if they got any sort of damage onto them, if Twilight didn't get booped off over here, say for instance it was still a 6v6, Shock would have made some different decisions based on that situation.
But you just have to funnel in these doors, and there's no way to get a clean engagement when you have to funnel in the doors and the other team's already on the point.
That's why things become dirty. Good players don't play with form, they play to win, and they'll play dirty if they have to win.
I like it.
That's the difference between someone who knows how to fight and someone who doesn't.
Yep.
So this was really good by Moth right here. A nice small tactic that they pulled. Plus,
Yeah,
Shock weren't
that
even
was
playing that
that was
aggressive.
disgusting.
Yeah, Shock weren't even trying to play that aggressive too.
Moth was just I got it.
So Vancouver Titans try to open out with a high ground, which I think is very weird from these guys.
Dash,
Yeah,
what's going on with your
Dash,
mic?
what are you doing, bro?
What?
Something
Wait, that
going
makes a
on.
sound?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear a lot of fucking mic sounds.
Okay,
What are
whoopsie.
you doing, bro?
Stop,
sliding.
stop fucking around with your mic.
I was sliding the mute on mute button. I was just fiddling with stuff. I didn't know it made sound.
It makes
Yeah.
sound.
It makes sound, you know.
It hurts too. Stop it!
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? Here,
Muted.
where's the fucking mute button?
Muted.
It's toxic, bro.
Fucking
Fucking
toxic.
toxic.
There we go. Now Dash can still listen to me, but then he does, whatchamacallit. He doesn't have to bother me. By the way, if Dash has to say anything to me, you guys are going to have to, tell me that. 'Cause I
I'll
won't
tell
hear
you.
Dash.
Hey, I got you.
Dash said that he's gay.
Okay.
So proud of my son. All right, go ahead.
So Vancouver Titans basically kind of go for an opening on high ground here, and immediately realize this wasn't a good idea. So they just back off, and you're like, okay, time to try something else. So right now they're just waiting for something different. Never mind. Vancouver Titans didn't recognize this wasn't a good idea, and they still got punished for it. See, I told you this high ground was a bad idea, because what are you gonna do because Vancouver Titans can't really do anything with this high ground. They're just like, hey, we have high ground. But then they can't do anything with it. Sure, high ground is a good position, but in this situation, the reason why this high ground was bad is because they had no options with it. If they were to try, say, for instance, drop, the goats would, Shock would just focus them down one by one, and you can see that obviously this happened here. And if they tried
And you're
drop up-
standing right next to the ledge, so you could just get booped.
Yeah, and exactly. And so this was a small inaccuracy from Vancouver Titans. However, they blundered their Vegeta and I think Bumper for it. So what if the Titans were going to go for this high ground, they should have immediately rotated into the back and slowly just rotate to the low ground and engage maybe the Shock around in this area.
Why would they even think that that was a good idea?
I don't know.
People don't think good. People don't even think if it's a good
It's
idea.
literally just such a
Just trust.
cliche that, like you said, high ground is always the good position, but in this case, there's literally nothing you can do.
Yeah.
If it's 3-3 goats and one team has the point, there's
like
nothing you can
maybe
do.
like check this out. Maybe if Violet, not Violet. Maybe if Twilight was on the high ground and all 5 of them were on the low ground, then it would have made sense.
Yeah. But all 6 of you, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Can't engage.
Can't engage.
But then Twilight could have gotten focused by
Troy Hilbin?
Diva.
Yep, exactly.
But then,
See,
yeah,
this is
but
the
then he could have dropped
check that
on.
out. See, that's another good analysis picked by you. Like, what the hell are you gonna do with this high ground? That's why I told you it was like quite bad.
Yeah.
This is the reason why
Agreed.
you don't. This is the reason why you shouldn't have. They shouldn't have played that high ground.
So, if we've learned anything so far through this map, we don't go high ground on goats
Shut
here.
up, Nightmare.
I mean, high ground is good, but it's like a situational
High
type
ground,
of thing.
high ground is actually super good for goats. It's just that.
I'm saying on
it's
this
just that there's
map
more counter-
here.
On this, yeah, in this map. Well, in that situation, it wasn't good because high ground is good because it gives you options and it takes away the enemy's options. So if you're to play high ground, you have the option to engage the enemy and disengage at will. Whereas the enemy on the low ground has no option to disengage at will and has no option to easily engage you to where you die at will. Instead, you control more of the engagement by playing high ground, because if the enemy has no verticality, that's what I meant to say, then you don't have to worry about them trying to like easily killing you, because you'll just like disengage easily whenever you want. Whereas if it's like maybe a diva, like that's where things kind of just change. Now there's no such thing as like being now the advantage of high ground just kind of doesn't exist anymore, because diva can just take high ground and just kill you anyways. So now it's just about who's got the better gun and who's in the better position to shoot who.
Yeah. Like, if a Zen was up there by himself, he would just get discorded and the Diva would have killed him. Like,
Pretty much. And the Diva probably
missiles,
would've
one
got-
tap.
The diva probably would have gotten bubble too, just for like extra. Yeah.
Like, safety of engagement.
So immediately over here, Vancouver Titans are quite the aggressive, and this is how I know. This is the reason how I know Vancouver Titans are such a good team is because of trust, and because Vancouver Titans trust each other so much. So Min-Soo trusted his teammates that his teammates would have been able to kill Rascal and win the fight if they can just get one pick, and they do that. So. So Min-Soo gets Rascal and they kill Rascal. Then Jay Janu ends up eating Sinatra's ult because Jay Janu's fucking crazy.
So good.
So good. Man, I remember when Blue Jay ate like the grabs on Route 66. Those are so good.
I mean, it's so hard to do it. If you do it, it's definitely not by accident, or a total fluke. There has to be some consistency into it.
Yeah, there is some rules. There is some fundamentals you would need to learn in order to start learning how to eat grass. Like, it's a thing you need to learn.
Yeah.
And so, pretty much, what we are looking at over here what we are analyzing here is the first phase of the fight. The first phase of the fight always determines the second phase of the fight. So let me just make some numbers real quick. There are 3 phases of the fight. The first phase is the opening phase. This is the setup phase where you will basically be trying to help your teammates gain an advantage. This is where you start trying to force out cooldowns. You start trying to drain resources. Sometimes you might use a resource to drain another enemy's resources even more. And it's just basically essentially just trying to gain some sort of advantage, whether if it's positional, a resource, ability, or possibly even a pick. And then there's going to be the breaking point. This is basically the critical position of the game where things will just start getting very nasty. Who leaves?
Dash.
Dash left. Okay. He probably needs
He's
leave.
back.
Okay, he's back.
He's
so in the second phase of the fight, this is pretty much where in the second phase of fights is now the breaking point. This is the tipping point of where now teams are going to starting to get very close to dying. abilities might have been drained. This is where people might start playing more critically instead of like aggressively. People will start trying to like get for picks. People will try and like all of this is slowly gonna, and like once all this chaos sort of happens, this is where you reach the third phase of the fight, which is basically like now which team won and then which team is going, and then now like one team is already up a pick and the other team is like down a pick. And so this is basically the phase where team one can just finish off the enemies and win the fight completely, or team two could possibly clutch out and then immediately gain an advantage and like turn the tides into their favor. Now, what's based off number 3 is what's based off on phase 3 is what happens from phase 2. Phase 2 is what happens from the setup of phase 1. So more like the more better your setup is on the first phase of the fight, the more advantage and the more easier things will be in the phase 2. And if you can win it, and if you can gain a lot of value in the phase 2 fight, it'll be much easier in phase 3 to just finish off people and gain more ult charge. Like phase 3 even extends into kind of like pushes on King's Row, where teams would push forward to get more picks and more ult charge. That's kind of like how far phase 3 can extend, is where you can keep killing people. And then once you can't kill people anymore, that's where that phase ends. So, did you guys get all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions or comments about that?
Why Milk leave the group?
Yeah, I don't know. But any questions relating to what I just said about phases and stuff?
No.
Okay. So yeah, right now Vancouver Titans are in the third phase of the fight, and now they're in the pre-phase. There's technically a fourth phase, which is called the pre-phase, where just teams just do whatever to like possibly gain information, maybe gain some resources, like Moira right-click getting her heals back, Zarya getting some charge, and maybe Zenyatta just getting ultimate charge at this point. This is where you start just trying to gain resources. So now we are starting to enter into the first phase of the fight. San Francisco Shock decided to open with a high ground. Okay, this is interesting from Shock. Now, check this out. Shock are in a shitty position because what did I say about this high ground earlier? Why it makes it so bad?
It sucks.
It sucks. And why does it suck, my friend?
Because you can not engage.
Exactly. What would happen if you were to try engage?
You're gonna get fucked.
How are you gonna get fucked?
One by one.
I mean,
By one. Target
yeah.
focus. Exactly. It's the same. Yeah, it's what you said. One by one, target focus.
You can only like waterfall down. Like you can try to go down at the same time, but obviously
Vancouver
It's just
Titans.
not gonna work.
It might not work. Like it's still very extremely risky.
I mean, they have so much CC on Titans. You know what I mean? They can boop